So, uh, hello guys. That second always confused me. Like I'm recording, am I not? Welcome to another one of my videos. Esoteric Cloud Surfer, getting ready to surf an esoteric cloud. And what is a esoteric cloud? Maybe you already know, maybe you don't. So, a esoteric cloud, it's a name. That's it. That I give to a lighter, to a vehicle that is lighter, as in weight, is less dense, and is vibing on a higher frequency that the realm and body that we are using and experiencing in right now. So today is the day for all my fellow Aquarians, for all my for all my fellow reptilians. Get ready, it's your chance to run for president right now. I'm kidding, y'all. That talk about reptilians is a mind thing. But you really think there is like real big lizards, right? I mean, there is. They go crazy with science and doing. Oh, actually, there was a day that I thought a thought that was correlated to that conspiracy theory of the lizards. Maybe I'll do a video talking about that. But today, my fellow Aquarians, my fellow revolutionary, or my fellow imposer of authorities, today is your day. Why? Because Saturn is now in Aquarius, right? 0 degrees of Aquarius. It's still really baby Aquarius, okay? Baby Aquarius. I just thought that joke I was making maybe you English speakers couldn't understand. But it's very early on Aquarius. That means that it's still coming up with some Capricorn energy, and also it's like Aquarius but on a lower octave, on a lower scale, or in a magnitude that for the next like couple months, maybe 2-3 months, the presence of Aquarius, of Saturn in Aquarius, will be more subtle. It depends on your circumstances of your life, of course. It depends also on your alignments, your geographical location, etc. But in general, because it's still new, it's still 0 degrees of Aquarius, right? But the moon was very nice. And the moon decided to walk up Saturn into the new house. And that was perfect. Because the moon make us already feel like that. It's like if the moon was in Leo, we would be feeling opposite. If the moon was in Aries, it would be an opportunity to explosion. And if the moon was in Taurus, we were like learning how to do some extracurricular crazy things, right? So because the moon is in Aquarius, it's a whole smoother transition, transition, transaction, transgression, something like that. Or you can feel all of that too personal and internal, and you can feel that the world is changing you. The outside events is changing you because the moon is our most personal space. It's our feelings, our awareness of our feelings. So we can feel all of that coming in because it's a new energy and it's powerful. Saturn is at home, but now it's like always live on YouTube because Saturn was in Capricorn. It was still at home, but it was like doing the work. It was writing down, it was making some calculations, making some drawings. Now he's live and direct, ready to show us the work that he did. It's ready to show us the new ideas that it had. And one thing about Aquarius that most non-Aquarius individuals may not understand is that Aquarius, we are, because I'm a sun sign Aquarius, I have a stellium in Aquarius, we are smart. Alright? And we can be too smart for our own good, where we talk ourselves right of a good opportunity, or we talk ourselves right of some pussy, for an example, for all of the fellows out there, right? But the thing is, the Aquarius learns the most when it's actually using the knowledge or expressing the knowledge. That's one of the reasons why I do YouTube videos, because I learn more when I'm expressing it to y'all. It's not about I learn more, it's I have more confidence, I have more status in myself that I know the things that I'm talking about here. And while I'm talking, I'm perfecting my awareness of that knowledge or wisdom, because most things that I do speak on this channel is wisdom, is personal experiences, right? So one thing, it's all of that being inside Capricorn, all of the limits and boundaries being inside, all of the networking being inside, all of the networking making sense and being realistic. Now it's upfront, it's on the streets, it's on the internet. It's not so much about being real, still about making sense, but it doesn't need to be real. It can be something that you still can't see in reality, but you believe that. You know that can work. And now you are more willing to show others those things, or to show your work more. Because Saturn is in Aquarius. This was a quick run up of tiny general energies that you might be experiencing right now. But let's do a more uh, calculated analysis, right? So, what is Saturn? Saturn is the biggest or bigger planet, wave, influence, body of water in our system, our solar system, the system for our soul. Okay? So, everything is inside of Saturn. Earth, Moon, Sun, Mercury is inside of the orb, of the orbit of Saturn. So, Saturn is limiting all of those chakras, all of those desires. Why? Because every desire is inside that orbit, so it cannot leave Saturn. That's why Saturn brings limits and boundaries, because Saturn is a limit and boundary. All right? Also, Saturn, concentration. Jupiter expands and extracts. Saturn concentrates, compend. No, that was the word I was trying to make right now. Saturn bring things in and make pressure on it. And diamonds come from pressure. Because on the other side, Jupiter, we have the looseness, not being stuck or not being connected of things and events, that gives us a feeling of freedom, of expansion, of high. We feel high with Jupiter like energies. But when those energies come into a more Saturnian like environment and start to condensate and come all together, it's easier for us to join the pieces together to make certain dots connect and be more real, make more sense, be more stable, and have more structure. That's also what Saturn gives us: structure, the ability to maintain a certain position or status. How we go from point A to point B, from the point B to the point C to the point D, how we do the travel. Jupiter is the feeling and the travel itself. Saturn is like all the things that we need to prepare and all of the directions that we need to choose in order to make the travel, right? So right now, that is in air, fixed air, being fixed on your own way to think and communicate. Also, co-ruled by Uranus, Aquarius. So it brings change, opposition, newness, uniqueness, originality, and individuality. And Aquarius is right next Cap. So it's the same energy, but expressed, put into the world, and with that Uranus energy. So it's basically taking the construction of Capricorn and give it a mix, give it a electrical charge, and that shape and form now is charged, ready to go outside to do what it was intended to do in the moment of its creation, and with the possibility to grow. That's right. Aquarius deals with growth, but it's a structural that makes sense that most times cannot be seen growth. Also, because Capricorn and Aquarius are in the winter time, the Saturnian energy is a late bloomer. It's an energy that blooms later because it's not so correlated to the sun. Because things here on earth blossom and birth in spring because spring starts with Aries where the sun is exalted. But Aquarius, it's like, I don't give a fuck about that light. That's just a light. And what Aquarius and Capricorns do are in a whole level way more complex, way more real than the light that Leos and Aries do. Alright? It cannot even be compared. And in a way, it's a more evolved light because Saturn was upon a time the sun of this earth. And Saturn has grown and is vibrating on a higher frequency right now. So this sun, in a way, is following the steps, is following the footprints in the sand of Saturn. Alright? And the others, like Jupiter, that's why many religious people call Jupiter the father or Pan. Okay? In Portuguese, father is pai. And in Spanish, father is padre and priest is padre in Portuguese, in my language. So it's all connected. Because the padre, the preaches us the further light. Because he has been on this earth longer than us, so he has more experiences than us. But on the real level, because that's just men making stars, making energy into men. But that's not it. Saturn is the father because it's the further star, the star with more experiences, with more power and influence, with its pairing Jupiter, over our own body of water, Earth, Gaia, Tiamat, etc. So all of that is going to be outside. It's going to be fixed. It's going to be about communication, about technology, about tools, about intellect, about being respected by not only what you know, but how good do you show what you know? How good do you talk? Do you have the right terms? And the right terms to fit that specific social group, and to that social group, and to that. So right now, we are going to be evaluated on those things. Because think about school. Aquarius energy all over the place. Think about police. Aquarius energy all over the place. Alright? So it's being tested, evaluated, controlled, policed, analyzed, judging you, That's more on the Libra side, but still air, still Saturn. So expect that to happen. Alright? But this is what can happen. What anybody can reach that energy and use it for its own. Alright? But you don't need to do that energy in this way. You can do Saturn in Aquarius on your own way. I'm sorry, too much air. I'm just remembering you what Saturn in Aquarius represents for you to make your best choice, alright? So I've rambled a little bit. To finish the video, let's strike it down. Structure, stability, status, networking, in being fixed on your own way to communicate, think, and analyze. It's going to be police of your status, police of your knowledge, not wisdom, police of how and evaluation, judging. Like the world right now is a school. Everybody thinks they are a teacher, especially with Sun, Venus, Mercury, and the recent new moon in Sag. Everyone thinks they're a preacher. Everyone thinks they know what it's supposed. Everybody's supposed to know. And now with Saturn in Aquarius, it's a sextile to all of that energy, right? So the world is like a school right now. Everybody, not everybody, but people will be like judging others with what they show, showing stability, showing how you make sense, showing your structure, showing others that you don't need others' help to define your structure because it's Aquarius, fixed air. Uh, Having your own way to communicate about your reality, having your own way to think about reality. So, this can be used two ways by the shadow government. Or they lock people's mentality further in, or people get fixed on their own way to think and communicate, and they use the intellect of Aquarius to understand that this is all bullshit and nothing makes sense, right? So, Saturn in Aquarius, judging yourself and others by what you know, how you show that knowledge, how you have structure, how you communicate that structure, how do you think different, how you bring change. All of that will be in our minds, and we want to communicate about it. Bringing change to structure. Also, Saturn in Aquarius, Uranus in Taurus, we have the same thing but flipped over. Saturn in Aquarius, the planet brings stability and structure, the sign brings change. Uranus, the planet brings change, but the sign brings stability. So we have a weird but cool balance, and that's my balance because I have Aquarius Sun and Taurus Moon. So I know what we need to be learning right now. We need to be learning right now to change inside first, change our little house first, but with the mind that with this I will change the world in the vision that I want. And bro, that thought cannot leave your mind. Because if it does, other persons will be fixed on their own way to think and communicate about reality, and they will not wait 1 second to throw that over you. So if you don't have your Taurus protection, your space, I have my space, and you have your Aquarius, I know, bro, you are going to be mentally raped as a whore who pays people to do that to them. Like, every place you go will be raped. Internet, bars, being with your family, because it's now being fixed on our own way to think and communicate. There is one danger there. People might take the shadow government way to think and communicate and think it's their own, because this is happening while a lot of energy and is in Sag and Neptune is in Pisces. So we have mutable energy. And that mutable energy can be used to make us think that that thing is a part of us and that we are a part of that thing. But no! Saturn in Aquarius, Uranus in Taurus, individuality, being fixed on your own way to achieve reality, your own way to achieve abundance, your own way to change your routine and pattern in a way to make your travel better, to go from point A to point B, manifesting the least trials and tribulations possible. Alright? Also, just quick reminder, Saturn is not bad. Saturn is not the worst. If you are an astrologer and you say Saturn is bad or something like that, get the fuck out of the internet. You don't know what you're saying. People think just because Saturn brings contraction, Saturn is death. No, bro. No. Because when you contract in an area, you are allowed to expand in another area. And when you contract on an area, you know that area in the best way possible. While if you keep expanding, this area is now this area. And how do you, with the same awareness, if you didn't contract to know this area, how can you analyze that single point where your awareness is now all focused on this gigantic space? Think about it. That's lostness. This is reality, right? Also, a great example that I think that was Dolo said it. Most infinitely it was. It's like Saturn is like the hardest teacher in terms of lessons and classes and quizzes, but then it's the best teacher because it gives the best field trips and gives the best meals at lunch, because it is Saturn. I was about to say Saturn give us challenges. No, Saturn does not give us challenges. The way that we are used to live make us perceive that Saturn is hard, but it's not. It's not. It seems hard, but it's just routine and pattern. If you work, you already do that. My face is shining so much right now. You, just by you being here, you have that energy. So it's not hard. It's way harder to do Venus kind things, right? Where you sacrifice your individual. I know, but yeah, in the way that people believing right now, it's harder to do the individual things. Yeah. I see that point. But Saturn seems hard, all right, but it's not. But in the end, if you do the Saturn work, you receive the best rewards. Okay? You have money to buy the house. You have security to not work so much during the day but still receive the same amount of money. You have chocolate that comes, not all things, but many things that starts with a C and that are brown comes from Saturn. Chocolate, coffee, it was another thing that I thought, I don't remember. And it's very funny that in Portuguese, brown is castanho. It starts with C as well. Chocolate, coffee starts with C as well. Carbon, bro, carbon always remembers me about Saturn. Always. Because carbon is used on pencil, it's used to write, routine and pattern. Then there is that character of Full Metal Alchemist, Grid, and he has the power to concentrate his carbon on the skin and his greed. And people who have too much Saturnian-like energy, they be greedy because they want to maintain their status and their wellness for the longest possible. So that they get greedy. Carbon, it starts with the C as well. Carbon develops it's the element that develops the most fantastic structures in nature. And carbon hexagon makes diamonds or something like that. That is a long time since I was a science geek boy, right? But to finalize the video, structure will be on communication. Structure will be on thinking. Limits and boundaries. But it can be limits to expansion or limits to vision. You can be safe, you can feel restricted, or you can feel safe with limits from Saturn. Limits, structure, boundaries, concentration, and contraction on speaking, thinking, communicating, social media, technology, tools, uh, building, but building on a moral level. Capricorn is building also on a moral level, but more internal, and then build a real building. Aquarius is taking the building and it's already constructing, and now we are going to use this build as an headquarters of this organization who has this principle and has this objective. You see, it's giving a whole purpose to the building. It's not just building, it's giving a purpose, giving a direction, but it's like humanitarian. And for you all of astrologers, spiritual people who think that Aquarius are humanitarians, it's right. But the shadow government has heavy Aquarius and Capricorn energy. If you think that Aquarius being humanitarians, let's save the world and feed the people who are starving, no. Aquarius is humanitarians in the way that is like, bro, 90% of the people is dumb. Let's kill them. That's the humanitarian of Aquarius. It makes sense. Does not from the heart. Does not come from feelings. It makes sense. They are like, these people cannot take care of themselves. We help them, but they still can't. We do this, that, and third, and they still can't. Bro, it's time to kill them. And the agenda is depopulation right now. And if you think that Aquarius is humanitarian, like, let's help the people who are starving, let's help the people who do not have houses. No. The Aquarian humanitarian energy is the reason why that is happening. Why people don't have houses and don't have food? It's because somebody think that they are dumb, they are not smart enough to live on this world. That's how the elite and the shadow government think. They think that dumb people are in their country and like they cannot live well in their country because it's full of dumb people when they go outside. I experience a little bit of that when I go outside. I've wanted to kill somebody or to punch somebody just because something they said was like really dumb. I felt it. But I'm not the shadow government, y'all. I will not reun an organization to kill, right? Only if you ask really well. But it's like that. The humanitarian Aquarius energy is not let's help the poor. It's let's kill those dumb motherfuckers so we can live at peace. That's humanitarian energy. It's taking your own fixed way to think and communicate and then apply that to the world, bro. That's demonic, okay? Don't think Aquarius is here to serve the world. No, that's Virgo. That's Cancer. Aquarius is here to make the world in their own image. That's why it's opposing to Leo, being fixed on their own way to see and perceive the world. Don't you think that Aquarius are here to like, let's stop starvation? No, Aquarius energy, it's not the only one, but it's one of the reasons why people is starving right now. So, I'll do a more concentrated video about what to not to do, I'm forgetting the word, what to avoid with Saturn in Aquarius energy. But the key is restriction, limits, boundaries, and contraction. But contraction leads to expansion. Never forget that and think that the world is harsh and Saturn is trying to kill you. No, Saturn is the real one who's trying to help you. Sun, Venus, all those throwing lights at your face, they don't want you to see them. They want you to see their lights. Saturn is the realest. It's like, bro, I know this is kind of ugly, but if you do this, and I'm telling you, it's going to be hard. But if you do this, and I'm telling you again, it's going to be extra hard. But if you do this, man, you receive a diamond, a mountain full of diamonds. And it's right here. While Venus, Jupiter, and the Sun, they will show you an image of the reward. Saturn shows you the actual reward. not an image, not a dream of a reward. Saturn shows you, bro, you do this, you do A, you receive B. The sun is like, you do A, and A looks like B and C, and you receive this B, and the B looks like a C, and then it's like a Z or something. You get it? Okay? It's the realist. It's the realist. The realist. Saturn is the realist. So now we are going to be the realist, thinking, communicating, analyzing, making groups. Be very aware. People will begin to police themselves even more. And just forgot what I was about to say. Judging, evaluating each other. Status. People are going to use status to determine if that person deserves their attention or not. So, like, some guy who has like 3,000 courses and PhDs or whatever, they reach and they say, bro, if you eat rat poison every day, it's good for you. People going to believe that because that guy has the PhD. That guy went to college. Bro, that guy is God. No, that shit doesn't matter anymore. But to the lost, it does. And while you, who has no courses, who went to no school, or just your drunk ass parent or whatever, they come to you and say, bro, gold is valuable. Something that is like really right. And people will be like, huh, who are you to say that? You are not a doctor. You are, while a doctor is telling you to eat rat poison. That's going to be the polar shift right now. If you have status, if you have some kind of credential, you good. But that's the difference between Aquarius Saturn and Cap Saturn. In Cap Saturn, if you have the status, you're good. Now, in Aquarius, you have the status, but you need to know how to show it. You need to know how to communicate it well, choose the right words, and give that Uranus, that festivity, like fun. Bring things that are like, and make them fun, you know? Because that's how Aquarius makes good. Aquarius is like energy. You talk bad about me, tomorrow 10 people will be talking bad about you, your mama, your boyfriend's mama, whatever. Because Aquarius can put everybody else fixated on the Aquarius own way to think and communicate as well. So that's why I was saying Aquarius energy is not to save the world from starvation, is to save the world from dumb people in the perspective of the Aquarius who's doing that, right? Be very careful to not follow that path and you become a destroyer, you become a demon. If that people is not smart or it has no value, bro, I've been there. I'm an Aquarius. I have an Aquarius stellium. I've been through that phase while I thought if people are dumb, they don't deserve to live in this world. But now I'm different, and I'm telling you to do not go down that road. You will kill yourself, your own ideas and feelings. You'll be like filled with blood, and you will start criticizing everything outside of you. And then when you feel the need to do something that makes you feel good, and if that thing is at least one bit looking like the things that you criticize outside, you are going to criticize yourself. So be very aware of that. Look, Daria. So, stay well. If you have any question, just ask me. Check out my Patreon, Esoteric Surfer. Lá no, there at Patreon. Really cool. And see you in the next video. I'm sorry this video was so long, but I was very excited. I'm loving this energy. Because I'm sun sign Saturn. Sun sign Aquarius. Damn. I have Aquarius stellium. And I'm home now. I'm feeling it. But I want to be a little more clear. I want to be a little bit more exact on, like, Aquarius in Saturn. The words, I want to say the right words. But the energy was well delivered. So, Esoteric Cloud Surfer, surfing out. See you next time. Remember, be an individual. Do not let other agendas or other people use your own individuality for their own good. Also, be aware of the tidal waves because they can wash up your spirit into a space where your spirit doesn't belong in. So your spirit starts to produce shapes and forms to remind you to get the fuck out of that place as well. So, until the next time, I hope you stay well. I hope you stay an individual. Esoteric Cloud Surfer staying out. Love you all. Stay well.